this unit, our airbase, should reach all NATO standards for that we are supporting the fighters and armed fighters. Secondly, there is also the personnel which is not directly related to with the fighters, with the fighter unit, but when the Alpha Scramble or training is launched, so the control reporting center personnel, which is also located here, this is the personnel who are controlling those fighters. We have all the time communication with the fighter pilots. We have all radar picture provided, and we are coordinating and controlling those fighters. So these are two big inputs from Latvian Air Force which we are providing.
Probably know that already, but the idea is for all nations being in NATO that work together, and we have a common shield above all states that are NATO for air defense, either by missiles or by aircraft. But Latvia does not have any fighter aircraft for obvious reasons. They are very expensive, and you need a lot of people and a lot of money to operate those. So that's where we are helping out. And NATO says, okay, wherever air policing is needed, we send it to them. About 1.5 years ago, we came here to the base and actually talked to you already. And we figured out that could be a great opportunity and good thing for both nations. For us, figuring out something doing on another base, and obviously for Latvia to get in this role, and also after we're leaving, being able to support other nations to coming here. So it's an ongoing process. International airspace has some rules you have to adhere to. And there's a lot of rules, but the three main ones I put on the right-hand side. First of all, if you want to fly there, you have to file a flight plan. You have to tell everybody, for example, tomorrow I come with this in this aircraft at that and that time, airspeed, passengers, what is on board, and so on, and file that to the European Union, basically, to Maastricht. Sometimes the Russians forget to do that. The second is you have to communicate. It's international airspace, but it's still controlled airspace. There's a lot of aircraft flying around, so you have to talk to the authorities if you fly along that stretch. Actually, if you come from St. Petersburg, you go on the radio and check in with Tallinn radio. Later on, it goes to Riga radio, then to Vilnius radio, before you talk to Kaliningrad radio. And yeah, sometimes they do that, sometimes they don't. And the last one, and for us the most important one, is setting a transponder. Every aircraft is equipped with a transponder, at least it has to be, and they send out a signal. And only when you send out that signal, the civilian authorities can see you on the radar picture. With the surveillance of the military radars, we can see everything that is flying. Everything that is made of metal or has a certain size. If you don't send out a transponder signal and you will not be seen, it is a possibility you have to crash into another aircraft. If you have a transponder, the civilian authorities can tell you, okay, fly a little higher or a little bit lower, so you avoid other traffic. So whenever somebody says, okay, there's an aircraft flying not adhering to the rules, the NATO is making the decision, should we go fly and do something about that? And regular, whenever there's a Russian military aircraft not sending out a transponder, they basically will give a call and say, okay, you have to go out there and do something about that. What is then happening, actually, they give a call here to the control reporting center in Latvia, and they actually press on a button, physically. They press on a button, and a siren is going on, a horn is going out very loud, and our people are starting running to the aircraft. They start running because they have to be airborne in the air with the aircraft within 15 minutes. So 15 minutes is the time we have. The good news is that the Russians may be not adhering to international flying rules, but they keep on the track. They fly in the international water. They do not regularly fly over the Baltic states, because that would be something different. Then we would be forced to do something else. We could do that. We are armed. We have weapons with us. And we have certain steps of escalation. So if they would fly from St. Petersburg to Kaliningrad and want to do a shortcut and fly via the Baltic stage, which I have to tell that, frankly, they don't do that, but they could. And that obviously is what we do not want. That's why we have NATO air policing. Then we would start escalating. First of all, we would fly very close to them and then put the aircraft on the side and show our underbelly where they are. You can see the weapons. It's like a policeman. He basically grabs to his gun or even holds up the gun and says, "Look at me, I'm armed. This is no joke." And that's the same thing that we do with the aircraft. Put it on the side and show them there are weapons underneath. That is no joke. Don't do that. And if they would, as I said, they don't do that, but if they would continue flying into the Baltic states, we would try to push them away. We would fly very close, and I'm talking about meters or even centimeters if necessary, and would try to force them away, to scare them away. And if they still don't do that, we could fly behind them, look up with our radar at them, and they get warning signals in the aircraft, okay, a weapon is looking at you. And that's where we stop. And then the pilot is done, but nevertheless, a NATO general, high general, could make the decision, worst case scenario, not happening, I'm telling you, but worst case scenario, we have to shoot him down. If he's flying inside the country, maybe he has bombs underneath and comes for funny ideas, pilot is crazy, or his politician has a crazy idea, and I heard they do that, then we have get the clearance by a high general. It's not the pilot making the decision. High general, okay, you have to shoot him down. That would be worst case scenario. What always is allowed is self-defense. So if they would shoot on us, we can shoot back. However, it is like maybe you've heard it in Top Gun. You have to be fired upon until you can fire back. So we are never the first ones to shoot. But as I said, this is not normally happening. Normally, air policing is about guys not adhering to the rules, and we try to help them out. And actually, we took over on the 1st of March. The mission started in the morning, 8 o'clock. Yeah, and 1.5 hours later, we got our first alarm flight already. We don't know why. Maybe it was to check out if we are ready. Maybe for other reasons. But we flew out there, and we intercepted already 2 aircraft. On the right-hand side, you can see a Coot, that is a reconnaissance aircraft, aircraft that looks into the Baltic states, listens to your telephone calls, and does funny things. And we escorted that. And also the Candid down there on the left lower side, which is a big transport aircraft, military transport, that transport either VIPs or cargo material, whatever. We intercepted then, and what you normally see out there is they just fly their route. They don't care if we are there. Sometimes you actually can see that a transponder signal is turned on all of a sudden, or they start communicating to somebody. But other than that, not much is happening. There's some few pilots that wave over there sometimes. Not very often. Most of the time they just sit there and do flying things. But sometimes they wave. Sometimes they take pictures from us, as well as we do take pictures. So sometimes you can see a flashlight behind one of the windows. And in the past, not this year, but in the past, because we've done this a couple of years, they sometimes even show you the middle finger if they don't like you too much. But that's pretty much it. So there's nothing really dangerous happening in there. Latvia did a tremendous work, and I have to say very much thank you to everybody who was involved, to fix up the area out there, to put up concrete and asphalt, a huge area where we could put our containers. And then for ammunition storage, because now we have armed weapons, so there's a possibility that something can happen to armed aircraft explosions or whatever. It doesn't happen very often, actually never, but you have to be safe. So we put up these T-walls, as we call them, the high walls of concrete. And this was worked together with Estonia, Latvia, and Germany, coming up with the great ideas, and everybody else had to work for us. Thank you very much. So we also put some money into construction works. So some companies in Latvia that probably had to do something and work with it, and was a great effort. And actually, one day before our aircraft came in here, was perfect, right on time. One day before the aircraft came in here, everything was ready to go. Yeah, we fly our mission. We have 5 Eurofighters here on the base. 2 are on status, so 2 can be ready to go, and we always fly with a 2 ship if technical reasons doesn't prevent us. Always fly with a 2 ship, and if something does not work with the jet, we can go to a spare aircraft. So we have 4 aircraft still always on status, be ready to go, and we have a 5th aircraft, so we can exchange our aircraft, because 9 months staying here is a long time, so we need inspections on the aircraft, so we have to do maintenance and stuff like that. We have about 200 Germans here running the mission. This is everything from a small guy that is working on the aircraft, a lot of technicians obviously, but also people for moral and welfare. We live here on the base in containers. We don't have a fancy hotel or something, so we need something to have the people happy. Have some maybe additional food, some snacks, some video evening where we show a movie and play some games and whatever. So in average, every 2nd day, every 3rd day, the Baltic Air Police mission is called for to go up there, do an alpha scrum and do something, because the Russians do not adhere to the regulations.